Today I visited the Allman Brothers grave site in Macon, Georgia. And it was really an amazing experience, and I want to share it with you because I think that it could be meaningful, and it's something that I really feel like I need to share. So my band, the Adi Shakti Tribe, is going to be performing the Allman Brothers song Revival at Chantlanta coming up in March, on March the 10th, as a matter of fact. And I love that song. The reason we chose that song to do it is because we just all love the energy and the great message of that song. But it's a challenging song to do, and especially for me, learning to play a guitar lead in that song just like really freaked me out. I've been practicing a couple of hours every day for the past month, just about, and I'm beginning to get there, but while I was learning this part and getting really familiar with this song, I remembered that the Allman Brothers played a huge role in my life. They were one of the first bands that I ever remember hearing, maybe them and the Beatles, and I fell in love with the Allman Brothers. I loved their music, I loved their style, I loved their southern soul, and loved their lead guitar work. It's really the Allman Brothers that introduced me to music, to guitar leads, to southern rock, and they've been one of my favorite bands for a long time, 40 plus years. And I've never been to their gravesite. And so I decided I was going to go down there and just sit with Duane Allman, who's buried there, Barry Oakley, who was the bass player for the Allman Brothers, and Gregg Allman. They're buried side by side, basically, at this Rose Hill Cemetery in Macon. So I went down there, and it was a beautiful day, and I found their gravesite. I went and sat by it. It was a really kind of an emotional experience. It was really cool. I sat there for a period of time, and I just meditated and got myself into the zen of the moment, so to speak. And I don't know how you feel about stuff like this, or whether or not you believe things that I'm about to share with you. I'm not 100% certain I know what I think about them and what I believe about them. But at least in my imagination, or perhaps in my spiritual psyche or energy field or something, I sensed that Duane and Barry and Gregg showed up. I could see them sitting in front of me, in my imagination. In my mind's eye. Gregg was older, about the age that he was when he died last year. Duane was around 25 or 26, about how old when he died years ago. And Barry was about 25 or 26, about how old he was when he died. And I told them how much their music meant to me, and how it had really changed my life and touched my life over the years. I told them about our band performing Revival coming up, and they seemed to be very pleased with that. I got really positive energy vibrations from that experience there, and then I told them that I wanted to ask if they would be willing to channel. I was really asking this of Duane, because he was one of the lead guitarists for the Allman Brothers, to ask Duane if he would channel himself through me in playing lead guitar. And I got no response from him or from any of them. It was just flat dead, and they kind of disappeared. And so I spent a few more minutes there at the gravesite, and then I decided to walk around the cemetery. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful cemetery, and really peaceful and lovely. And finally I went down to my car, and there's an old bandstand about 50 yards from the Allman's gravesite. And it's not used anymore, but it used to be used for bands, military bands playing for the military cemetery, which is really right next to where the Allmans are buried. And went to my guitar. I went to my car. I brought my guitar with me, and so I went and got my guitar, went over to the bandstand, and once again, I sensed their presence around me. And I really sensed that they were asking me to play something. And so I decided to play Revival, and I did. And then I played the lead part that I'm going to be playing in Revival. And I felt a lot of pleasure coming off of them, almost like they applauded me when I was done. And I really sensed in my soul that one of them said to me, "That's really awesome. We really enjoyed that, but we want to hear something else." And I said, "What is it that you want to hear?" And what I heard back in my spirit was, "We want to hear a song that you've written." Well, I was really shocked by that and also really nervous. But anyway, I went over and sat at my car at that point. I didn't want to stand at the bandstand, so I went over and sat in my car with the trunk open, and I played a song that I wrote. And they said, "Well, I sensed you. Well, that was really good, but that's still not the song we want to hear you play." So I played another song that I wrote, and once again, I've got positive vibes off the energy there, but I still felt like that wasn't the song that they wanted me to play. And in fact, now I felt like I heard them saying to me, "We want you to play your favorite song, the song that means more to you right now than anything." And so I did. I played a song that I'd written about 6 months ago called "Children of Love." And I played that song. I played it really well. I sang out really strong. And when it was over, I just sensed that the three of them just gave me this huge round of applause and came up and hugged me and said, "Man, that's what we wanted to hear. That was awesome." And I think I heard Duane say to me, "Brother, you don't need to channel me. What you need to do is do what you love. Let the love and the joy that's in your singing, that's in your music, just flow out of you, and you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be great." And then I kind of sensed that Duane and Barry faded away, but Gregg was still there. And one of the things that I had asked the Allmans up at their gravesite was, "Guys, I'd really like to make some money with music. I don't want to get rich or anything, but I do a lot of work with music, and I wish that I could just make some money doing it or something." And Gregg said, "Listen, man, you're going to be okay. Financially, you're going to be okay. You may make some money from your music, but you don't want to get into the music industry." He said, "Music industry destroyed me, and you don't want it to happen to you. Just do what you love, Don. You're gonna be okay, man. The revival's gonna be great, and you're gonna be great in your music. You're gonna do great things, not money things, but just because it's gonna flow out of your love and your passion. If you will let it flow out of your love and your passion, be who you are. You don't need to channel any of us. You need to channel you." And then Gregg disappeared, and it was so emotionally healing and uplifting for me. And I drove home so excited and so happy, knowing that I had encountered the Allman Brothers, or at least Gregg and Duane and Barry, not the band, obviously, but the genuine Allman Brothers, the real Allman Brothers. It was a great experience, but I left there knowing when I look outside of myself, I never find what I need. It's when I look inside of myself, when I look at the me that is me and the gifts that have been given and the energy that I have, when I look into that and love it and release it, that's when the magic happens. And you know what? I think that's a message that's true for you too. And so I hope you'll do that. I hope you'll look inside of yourself first and last and love yourself and let yourself go. All right. Peace. See you at Chantlanta, I hope.